Good morning. My name is Susana Baston. I'm from Cetmar in northwest of Spain. I'd like to welcome you to this fifth edition of the PREP4BLUE Stakeholder Engagement webinars. And today, the webinar is going to be very special because it's the first one having two speakers, and it will be focused on river literacy. But as in any previous editions, I'm going to give you a brief introduction to the PREP4BLUE project. So I'm going to share my screen now. As I mentioned earlier, we have two speakers today. The first one will be Bibiana presenting the Proxecto Rios, which is based in Galicia, in the northwest of Spain. And the second one will be Gabriela Costea talking about how to inspire community in the Danube area. I'll start with a few technical issues. So in the menu bar that you have in this session, if you have any technical problems, please put them through the meeting chat. And at the end of these talks, you can ask any question that you have to the speaker. So please use the raise hand if you want to switch your camera on and just ask the question loud. If not, if you prefer to just write, you have this button for questions and answers. During the talks, please turn your camera and micro off, and we'll start now. So the PREP4BLUE project is a Horizon Europe funded project bringing together 17 partners for delivering methods and tools for the mission Restore Our Oceans and Waters. In 2022, the European Commission launched the 5 missions, Mission Climate, Mission Cancer, Smart Cities, Mission Soil, and the Mission Ocean and Waters, in order to provide concrete solutions to our great challenges. They have defined concrete targets to be addressed by 2030, and that requires quite a social involvement to make them a success. So the mission Restore Our Ocean and Waters has 3 main objectives, which are protect and restore marine and freshwater ecosystems and biodiversity, prevent and eliminate pollution of our ocean, seas and waters, and make the sustainable economy carbon neutral and circular. But there are also 2 enablers, which are the digital ocean and water knowledge system and the public mobilization and engagement, which are these 2 enablers are cross-cutting actions, and the public mobilization gives the framework for these webinars and bring all us together today. So the PREP4BLUE project aims to bring tools and methods for the 4 mission lighthouses, which are the Atlantic and Arctic, the Mediterranean, the Danube and Black Sea, and the Baltic, the Danube and Black Sea, and the Baltic and North Sea. So these talks today are in between the citizen engagement and the stakeholder engagement. PREP4BLUE project has actions in both lines. So you can see here some of the results related to the citizen engagement. If you visit the PREP4BLUE website, you can have access to those documents. And there are also some results already on the stakeholder engagement. We highlight as well the Wave Links, which is a database for the mission Ocean and Waters, and is an interface where you can use for stakeholder engagement. As well, I like to highlight that this is the 5th webinar, so you can watch previous recordings through the website. We want to provide methods and tools focused on the triple helix for the ocean knowledge ecosystems. The fourth webinar focused on the knowledge ecosystem and the governance. It was in the interface on how to provide methods to decision makers. Today, we are going to focus on the socioeconomical ecosystem, focusing in the citizens and the environmental education of rivers. So as you can see here, there are 4 levels of engagement: inform, consult, involve and collaborate, and empower. And today's talks will focus on the 3rd level, involve and collaborate. I like to finish my introduction saying that the last webinar will be in a couple of weeks on the 30th of October. And the speaker will be Patricia Puig, talking about marine protected areas in the Mediterranean Sea. So now I'm going to give the floor to Bibiana Lorenzo, who is going to talk to us about the Proxecto Rios. So, Bibiana, whenever you're ready.
Okay, thank you. I want to thank Stedmar for the invitation to speak to all the people that are watching us today. And now I'm going to share the presentation. Okay, I hope everything is okay, that you can see the slides. So I'm going to start introducing my organization and the project so you can understand what I'm talking about. So my name is Bibiana, and I'm environmental educator in ADEGA, which is the Environmental Association for the Defense of Galicia. It's an independent, democratic, non-profit association for the defense of Galicia. Does everything possible to defend Galicia and global environment as well. It is one of Spanish most active association with almost 50 years of experience, and it centers its activities in a regional scale, but not exclusively. Besides, ADEGA understands that biodiversity is reflected in cultural diversity, and that should be preserved. The type of activities that we carry are volunteer activities, environmental education, social awareness campaigns, divulgation, and protests. But today I'm going to talk about Proxecto Rios, that if we want to translate it to English would be something like River Project. That is a volunteer and environmental education program. It began in 2005 in Galicia, coordinated by ADEGA, but it firstly arose in Catalonia in 1997 with the help of Associació Habitats. So the main objective of this program is to create awareness of the environmental situation in Galician rivers through participation. That is a key point of this project, and to find or offer solution to the problems. Therefore, this program can be considered a multidimensional program. So why we say that it's a multidimensional project, and this is very important for establishing relation with stakeholders, because we have this program has an educational point of view. So from a practical and hands-on perspective, we show the participants the consequence of river pollution, as well as the environmental responsibilities they have in relation to water. We teach them also to identify flora and fauna of riparian ecosystem. The importance of well-conserved ecosystems, And we train population. And inside this population is many sectors like teachers, members of associations, council workers, ordinary people, to carry out river inspections. That is how we call when we examine the field, in the field, the quality of the ecosystems, following a simplified and didactic protocol extracted from the Water Framework Directive. And we also try to create ecological citizens, that are citizens with ecological awareness. From an emotional point of view, that is very important for get people involved. We motivate people to learn about cultural, historical, socioeconomical, and natural elements related with rivers. And it's very important for us, for example, to highlight Galician language, which is our regional language, as a part of our cultural heritage. And we look also to generate emotional connection between the participants and the ecosystem, and also foster social bonds among participants. Also, we also relate with governments, with other organizations, because we offer a scientific point of view. So we use a scientific methodology extracted from the Water Framework Directive, and we also promote observation in situ and data collection. And because we are implementing this project for almost 20 years now, we have a continuity in the data that we offer in a temporal perspective. And we offer our results to policy makers. And there is also, we can say, a relationship point of view, because we relate with other associations at regional level and national level and European level. So we establish relationships with other organizations who has similar values. Well, here you can say in the picture some of the work that we do and materials. Therefore, for us in Proxecto Rios, it's very important to motivate our participants and our volunteers. Here we can see that data, the last data till 2023, that we have 272 groups. There are some variations that are because we update our database. And even during COVID-19, we had the possibility to continue with this relation with our volunteers. And in the left part of the slide, you can see the typology of the group. Most of them, 53% of the total, are institutions related with education, like high school, middle school, primary schools, also vocational education and adult education. Next, the other groups that are very important are associations, 24%, and other families per people that are 15%. Well, I would like to say that at the end of 2021, we estimate that more than 5,000 people participate in our activities. And for example, there are other activities related with Proxecto Rios, not exactly Proxecto Rios, that are, for example, the activities where we make river cleanups, that every time that we make it, around 1,000 people participate. So this is an indication that conservation and protection activities of rivers are actions that society supports with enthusiasm. Also, I have to mention how we obtain our fundings. So we mostly obtain the financial support from regional administrations, public regional administrations. Like for example, Aguas de Galicia, that is the organism in charge of rivers in Galicia, dependent of Xunta de Galicia, that is our government, regional government. And it depends on the river. If the river is shared with other province in Spain, we also depend of Spanish government. However, in other projects related with this one, that I talk about it later, we depend also in European Union funding. So briefly, I would like to say what we do to make this relation with our participants and other stakeholders. So we do training outdoors. We carry out the activity, but not only. We go with a group of people, we explain how to carry it by themselves. We do that at the rivers, and we teach them how to make the river inspection, we call it. So in this inspection, we applied hydromorphology analysis and physiochemical and biological. Also, we measure biological and physiochemical parameters. So like that, they collect the data, and they send to us. We also make training courses for specific topics. Like, for example, we make training courses that with the objectives are training teachers, or for example, we talk about a specific topic like alien invasive species or endangered species. As I mentioned before, we make also the 4th Sunday of September, that is the Global River Day, a clean up activity coordinated in all Galicia with collaboration of associations, schools, and councils. And we also have hiking river routes that are hiking in a place where a river of interest is. The interest of the river can be natural, but can be also cultural, can be because of a reivindicative situation in this river. And we also apply this methodology for taking the data of the river. And it's very important as well as you know, communication. We use our social media and our website to communicate our activities and the result of our activities. We also publish articles in our own magazine that is called Cerna. And we report the data that we collected, as I said before, to policymakers. And we also participate in conference and congress. In these events, we can be formative, we can go like attendees, or we participate presenting the activities we carry out. In we talk about different topics like river ecosystems, environmental education applied to the study of river ecosystems. And for example, we went to the Galician Observatory of Environmental Education, or a Vigo University Rural Research Observatory. Here, you can see some of the materials we use, like this physiochemical analysis, these worksheets that we give to every group of volunteers that want to apply Proxecto Rios, and also a full manual explaining how to make it possible. And now I want to talk about another geographic scale, because Proxecto Rios doesn't take place only at a regional scale. There is an Iberian network too. In fact, Proxecto Rios is an initiative that, as I said before, arose in Catalonia. So now we currently have the Rios project, or the Proxecto Rios, in Galicia, ADEGA, also in Valencia with Lime Foundation, in Cantabria with Canberra Network, and in Madrid, Asociación Territorios Vivos, and also in Portugal with the Environmental Education from Portugal Association. We build this relationship thanks to communication between the association with the same values. Like, for example, Proxecto Rios was born because people from ADEGA were interested in what Associación Habitat was doing and went to Valencia to a congress with other this association, and we coordinate. I like to mention that outside the Iberian Peninsula, thanks to the support of the BirdLife Foundation, Mediterranean, Bosnia and Herzegovina and Croatia were somehow related to the river projects. So we can say that around 2,000 volunteers are moved in Proxecto Rios or very similar projects around the Iberian Peninsula. So these different organizations bring their experience to the Iberian network in such a way that we promote a continuous improvement of the project. Other project that I like to mention because of its dimension is the Living River project. That was an Erasmus Plus program that took place from 2018 to 2021 and is directed to the sector of school education. This project was developed in close collaboration with different political, social, and economic agents who work together in mitigating the negative impacts in rivers and contributing to improve life quality in Europe. It involves students from different learning levels, from primary schools to university, local population, authorities, NGOs, and researchers for different subject areas. It included different activities and productions, like eco-museums, transnational meetings, workshop, illustrated protocols, putting in common the materials and the protocols to reach a common material and protocol, and filming documentaries, from the documentaries making film festivals, and all is recorded in newsletter that were impressed every year. So here in this slide, we can see the newsletter. Also this ebook, where is a guide helping people to apply the protocol. And it's interesting to highlight this experiment that took place in the University of Lisboa, which related the decomposition of elder tree leaves with the quality of the river because of the presence of these living organisms that decompose this organic matter. Well, also mentioned that COVID-19 happened during this project, but we had online meetings and we communicated in the distance. Here you can see the website if you want to visit it. Well, these are the associations, universities, schools, and agency that participates in this project. So we have different associations and universities from Portugal. We also have universities from Turkey, this agency from Romania, this high school from Galicia, as well as ADEGA. And now I would like to mention another project that it was called Fluviatilis. It's more related with under the Water Framework Directive at a community level, conserving and restoring the good state of our rivers. So Spain, as a member of the European Union, they developed the National Strategy for River Restoration, which looks for achieve good ecological status in its rivers, ecosystems, and recognize the importance of citizen participation and involving social groups. So the Spanish Biodiversity Foundation is in charge of the project, but it has help of European Union funding. We carry out as ADEGA inside of Proxecto Rios, or related with Proxecto Rios, this activity in 5 different rivers, which are special or inside the special area of conservation, or from the Habitat Directive, or special protected areas from the Birds Directive. And what is the aim of this project? So the aim is to establish land stewardship agreements, which is fundamental for the execution of the project's actions, because you need maintenance, conservation, recovery, and restoration and improvement of the river environment. And so it's crucial to ensure the durability of the project in the future actions. We also participate in a methodological guide that is created in order to develop river restoration projects, thanks to this land stewardship. It's very important also, in order to make conservation and rehabilitation actions, a prior assessment to determine the magnitude of the impacts of the human activity on the provision of this ecosystem service. We do it taking into account nature-based solutions that are basic, for example, for the management of introduced alien species and river rehabilitations. This all together is related with promoting bioeconomy and green jobs, because it's very important to promotion the local economy by promoting sustainable activities, design and delivery of training and education courses, promoting participation of the private sector through corporate social responsibility policies. And it's also important environmental education and volunteer, because education, aware raising, are these kind of activities are developed to different audience in the area of action. And I would like to highlight at the Spanish level that the organizations that we are all together, we make a group to participate in this project. So there are many of them related with Proxecto Rios. So this allows us to make a group of associations able to carry out this project. So these associations are from Galicia, from Murcia and Albacete, from Tarragona, Catalonia, Valencia, and Cantabria. This is my last slide, so it brings me to the end of the presentation. I would like to thank you for all listening to my presentation.
Thank you, Bibiana. I think that was a very interesting talk. I have a few questions for you at the questions and answer sessions after our next speaker. I welcome Gabriela Costea to talk us about what's happening in the Danube and the activities that they are doing for engaging with the public. So, Gabriela, whenever you're ready.
Thank you very much. I'm start to share with you my presentation. So, do you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, thank you very much. I'm very pleased for this, for your inviting, because I would like to share with you our approach to engage the community in a project, Horizon project, Danube for All. And first, I would like to present myself. My name is Gabriela Costea. I'm an aquatic ecologist in institute, the research institute, Leibniz Institute of Freshwater Ecology and Inland Fisheries, IGB Berlin. And I will start my presentation with a short summary of what I am going to talk. I will start with presenting water management challenges in the Danube Basin and how this EU Horizon project, Danube for All, is going to tackle these challenges by trying to build a deeper relationship between the society and these precious real aquatic ecosystems, using also this co-creation approach. For this, I will present an engaging method which facilitated us to reach several audiences via a huge puzzle wall or via storytelling. So we know all Danube is one of the most international rivers, with each catchment spreads over the 19 countries, with a surface more than 800,000 square kilometers and nearly 80 million of inhabitants. This is the reason we have a lot of challenges here, as fragmented river connectivity, deficit in water quality. We have many dams only along the Danube. There are more than 100 dams in the main channel, which of course cause deficit alter of hydromorphology of the river. And additional, we have the challenge of international communication among these 19 countries present in the basin, as well as we have an underdeveloped environmental education approach in some countries. And the overarching challenge of the climate change, which resulted in more severe events. We see all about droughts and floods. This is the reason in our project Danube for All, we would like to tackle these challenges by co-creating a nature-based solution, as we assume that complex tasks call for an integrative, multifunctional, nature-based solution approach. And in order to tackle this challenge, we should integrate different target group, different interests. We should consider here the management of the water quantity, the management of the water quality, management of the flood protection, and another sectors like agriculture, forestry, nature conservation, tourism, urban development. All these interests should be considered, and this will be important to find the framework in order to permit creating synergies and a better coordination for this integrative approach, which should include, of course, all the stakeholders in a continuous process. But you know, well, it is not simple, this. And this is the reason the EU Horizon project has the ambitious aim to co-develop a comprehensive, scientifically based and practically oriented restoration plan for Danube. And these are some information, yeah, you could find it about our project. And this is very important. We have more than nearly 50 partners. That means this co-creation should involve not only the scientists, but also investors, public bodies, policymakers, and local community. This nature-based, we have the possibility to, in order to tackle these challenges of the climate change with big dams like for floods, but also to consider the nature-based solutions, which has many benefits, because these solutions are multifunctional, meet the needs and the wishes of different category of public, of sector of the society, and also they are adaptable and scalable. That means could be adapted from different case studies, and what is most important, involves the participants of the local people, the local residents, in order to facilitate the implementation. And this is the reason we are interested to do it in this co-creation approach. Here is an example of flood protection by a dike relocation. That's a nature-based solution. But in order to make this more space for the river, we should convince the community that kind of measure are not benefit from the river, from the nature, but also for themselves. And for that, we should find a way to explain these complex problems on their understanding, to assure linkages between them and this environment. Especially now, strategic documents are aims to reestablish these emotional linkages of citizens of freshwater ecosystem. We have this strategic document supported by EU. How could be these emotional linkages done? Also with this environmental education activities, Bibiana also very nicely presented in her presentation, because through their diversity and the way they can be organized, this provides an excellent environment to create this emotional connection. And in our projects, we have word packages dedicated to empowered inhabitants and community led by Puls Aqua, where we have different approaches like education and co-creation, but also mobilization and activation through river walk, other water sport cleaning ups events, or citizen science toolbox. But in this presentation, I'm focused only on the education and co-creation part. And for that, I would like to present you a nice result from a review of 105 educational programs in order to see what are the environmental education outcomes. And we could see most of the programs measure changes in the behavioral antecedents, such as awareness, intention, or skills. And most of the studies, 48 studies reporting on participants undertaking some type of environmental action during the program, like planting trees or habitat restoration, cleaning beaches, or removing invasive species. Also, there are programs who described these changes in behavior, like turning off lights or reducing the water waste. So these are important outcomes we should consider. And all these educational activities we've seen also in presentation before are taught in schools, in communities, in visitor centers, in parks, in zoos and museums. And nowadays, all this develop a kind of community-centered approach of these environmental programs. This is the reason in our project we'd like to take the advantage of these many partners we have with a big network in order to develop concept for educational package, Danube for All educational package, which has the a public lab, like a permanent exhibition, which will be with the big and nice interactive learning elements, developed in the framework of the Boku University in Vienna. But also we'd like to develop a concept from an interactive traveling exhibition. With this exhibition, we should travel, it could reach also remote community, which have no access to nice educational events or activities. And together with that, we would like to develop also the concept from some supplementary educational activities like participatory and puppet theater or games or the guided tours. So, but all this will be in our project only in the level of the concept. And you could see here, if you see what means steps to organize an exhibition, to develop the concept, it's only a small part, only 30%. In this 30%, we should develop what are the big idea of this exhibition, the key messages and critical question. But because we have this co-creation approach, we would like to take the advantage of all these partners and to do that. And for that, we are thinking how to engage. Because if you look to these steps, scientific steps of the co-creation approach, we see first is very important this provocation, yeah, to engage the people, the audience first through an outdoor experience, a hands-on experience, or a question. And after that, having engaged this auditorium, you could go further to explore, to collect knowledge, opinions, and attitude, and to elaborate together through a brainstorming some solution maybe. And we are thinking which kind of engagement we could use it in our project in order to involve all categories of auditorium. And we develop a huge puzzle in a A0 format, which we could also travel with it in order to collect ideas from different auditorium. And the challenge will be not only to do the puzzle, yeah, to strain the geographical knowledge, but also with each piece of puzzle, they should bring an idea, a response to 3 questions. So this question would be, what will be the key messages of this traveling exhibition? To which critical question this exhibition should respond, and which kind of visualization method we could use, taking into account we are talking about the theme or traveling exhibition. Yeah, so that means should be something very attractive, very engaging, but in the same time easier to transport. So with these questions and interactivity, we started our co-creation exercise in the framework of the European Citizen Science Conference in Natural History Museum in Wien, where we've got the opportunity to interact with the general public, the visitors of the museum during the day. And we've been very happy to see how motivated are people to come out with ideas and responses to this question. The finish of the day, we've got our puzzle full of many ideas from different categories of people, family with children, single person, elderly people. So all the visitors contributed to this puzzle. So that we continue this exercise with another target audience, namely with the researcher from our project during our annual meeting in Belgrade. So we collected also the opinion from the researchers in the project. And after that, I took the opportunity to collect the idea from my colleagues from here, from the IGB Berlin, during our summer party. We continue also the co-creation exercise with the researchers, colleagues from other Danube Lighthouse project, and another participants like entrepreneurs or policymakers during the Eco Dali Living Lab, which was organized exactly during the Danube Festival in Ulm. And because the Danube Festival was also open for all the public, we took also the opportunity together with our partners Danube Parks in their stand to organize our interactive for the general public from Upper Danube. And we also got the same feedback from general public from Lower Danube during Danube Delta Festival. And we see a lot of children. We've been surrounded by them in order to be, they were also interested not only to do the puzzle, but also to ask what is happening and what they could help. And very fresh, last week we've been in the conference of the Water Museum Network, and we did this co-creation exercise with the Water Museum experts, because now our project, Danube for All, it is part from this museum network. So coming soon will be to have opinion from general public from the Middle Danube, and one partner from this Water Museum network is Aquarium Karlovac from Croatia, and they will organize this exercise for their public. So we will have also the input from the Middle Danube. And I would be happy if through this presentation will be another person who would like to contribute, even if it's not possible via a puzzle, but using this QR code, you are welcome, very welcome to give your input for these 3 questions: the key messages of the exhibition, what critical questions should this exhibition have, and the visualization way. Another type of engaging people is to use this storytelling. And we have a nice book, children book dedicated for the children, but also for the family with children, where is presented the adventurous journey of mermaid, a river mermaid named Lau, who have traveled from the spring of the Danube until the mouth of the Danube in Danube Delta, and during her journey, she found different inhabitants, different species of plants, animals, but also people, and together they learned about the diversity of the life, and also the function of the Danube. But what is important, the threats and possible solution from these threats. It is a children book written in a fairy tale-like tone, but we would like to use this book to start another activities, like starting from this book another workshop, Kamishibai theater, other drawing workshops could be encouraged in order to explain this important function of the Danube. It is not easier to make people understand, this complex problem, and we should also consider this type of involving, what we'd like to have with this book, also to use these characters as a connection between, not only between the species, but also the culture, the countries, and the projects. Maybe it's easier through storytelling to make people convinced, and to make easier to implement this restoration project we would like to implement in a multiplicate scale. So here is a photo from a book presentation in Wien, in the framework of the National Park, Danube National Park, together with our coordinating of the project, Professor Helmut Harbasak from BOKU. So what are the next steps? We would like to finalize this concept based on the nice input we have it already, but the main challenge come because we should implement this project. We need some money, so we will apply for another project, and we hope this traveling exhibition will be like a mobile part of the permanent BOKU lab in Wien. So this was our small part related with co-creation and storytelling, like a support for implementing this restoration action plan. And we hope this idea with the puzzle, and we observed this idea was very nice to connect people, to engage people actually, to facilitate discussion about the project goals, and to get a lot of nice inputs from different target audiences. So we are thankful for this possibility to collaborate with a lot of partners and to have this network, and this help us to multiplicate this effort. Thank you very much, and I will be happy to take your questions, to respond to your questions.
Thank you very much, Gabriela. I find this presentation very interesting. I love it. I love the idea because I think that everyone likes puzzles and solving puzzles. I congratulate for the book, the children's book. It looks lovely. And yeah, I now give the opportunity for the people in the audience to ask any question to the speakers. Lucia, would you like to?
I propose to break the ice with a couple of questions. They are somehow in chain. The first one is for Bibiana, because it's about, my questions are about your feelings or your testimonials about this stakeholder engagement that you are doing when you are mobilizing to get volunteers. And Bibiana, you presented a graphic with several types of very different stakeholders that you are mobilizing, ranging from councils to centers, university or primary schools. So would you have any testimonial or any type of recommendation or good practice to adapt your communication to those so different contexts?
Okay, do you mean that the activities adapt to the different groups of people, or more the contact with the people?
The communication you are doing to mobilize the stakeholders. I imagine that the content of your communication is the same, but you maybe do not approach in the same way a teacher in a primary school or a major in a council. And what we would like to address in these webinars are these tips or these good practices to adapt your communication to these different types of stakeholders.
Okay. So I guess that the important thing is to address to the common interests. So, for example, the interest of schools is more related with knowledge, with the capacity to obtain this knowledge. Also, with association, they have very different motivations. Sometimes it's just only, but very important, environmental conservation, or worried about something that happened locally. Like, for example, some people call us because they want to open a mine close to the river and we want to know which effect it would have. Or with councils, for example, they want to organize something to involve the population in this topic or to learn about it. So they contact with us, or we contact with them if we know that they need something. So it's kind of addressing their motivations, their interests.
Mm-hmm. And my second question is related with that, and it's for Gabriela, because you have a very challenging map to address with all so very basic. Well, I am talking from Galicia, and I believe you would not consider rivers because they are quite small compared to the ones you are addressing. But once in France, they said, "Oh, these are ruisseaux." I don't know the English word to say. It's not exactly. It's a very small river. Would you consider more relevant to adapt your message to the different type of stakeholder, or is it more relevant the differences across countries? Because in your case, you are both addressing quite different groups of stakeholders and quite different countries with a very different culture.
Yes, exactly. This also we noticed. So we wanted to have this bottom-up approach, and a bottom-up approach consider different audiences. And of course, they are not the same, but we have this advantage of many partners from other countries, and this helped us to develop for each different approach. But the main group as citizen, we were focused on general public, yeah, because especially in the community, we are going to develop this restoration project. All the people, all the public should know what are the benefits for that, and this will facilitate the implementation of the project. With this puzzle, we've got the opportunity to first engage the people, because the people were attracted. What is that? To see it, and we started after that to explain what we are going to do. So we let it first to the puzzle because they were eager to first do the puzzle, and after it we started to explain about the Danube, what are their problem, and we of course adapted our language communication based on different, with children we talk in another way, with adults we talk in another way. But what was nice, we've got the contact with different category of public during these events. Yeah, and this is very nice because also we've seen the difference between how the people interact in the upper part of the Danube, in the lower part. Me, actually, I've noticed something. I was thinking everybody will be interested to give responses. In the upper part of the Danube, the adults, they were very accustomed to be asked for their opinion and to contribute. But in the lower part, I've noticed the people were quite not so free, how to say, not so eager to give. More the children, they were, because they have no problem to give wrong responses. They just responded very spontaneously. But the adults, they don't have the exercise to be asked for something. That means this was actually a next step for us. We should train the people to be in this part of the Europe, to be trained to give their opinion, to contribute to this discussion. So it is very nice to have these interactivities because we see some gaps, yeah. So we should focus more on that direction also.
Thank you so much for your insights, because sometimes we develop many recommendations and analysis about the stakeholder engagement, but there are usually some very, let's say, tips that are about thinking on having empathy with the other, and also thinking in simple things to address the actions that we would like to address, that can be very helpful for others.
I like to ask a couple of questions as well. The first one is for Gabriela. I'm very impressed about the amount of tools that you presented today. You mentioned the Eledan is a e-learning tool, and also that you have serious online games. And on the other hand, you have hands-on sessions in the conference, but you present the puzzle and you present the children book. Can you tell me a little more about this serious online game? If you have a big response, or how do you organize those?
So this Ledan at the beginning, it was actually example from educational activities from another project. Yeah, it's where these educational activities are developed in or in school. There are a lot of tools, and after that, I have a question from Bibiana in this related, and this company action like a theater, online game, or tours will be like part from these educational packages. And for this serious game, actually, we would like to have the same co-creation approach, because we would like to put the results of the scientific part of our projects in this online game. That means you'll be a co-creation, of course, with these word packages. Yeah, how you could put these results in an online game, and serious online game, in order to make the people to understand. And this will be also the level of the concept. As I told you, all this will be at the level of the concept, but will be very nice because we have this opportunity to collaborate with partners, with the scientific part, and so we have the possibility to receive feedback from the community, from this demonstration site or associated region. So we could develop very nicely following the scientific steps, yeah, of the developing such a game. And if I could, do you have another question? Because as I have a question from Bibiana.
Go ahead, ask her.
Yeah, because Bibiana presented this nice education projects, and you use it for these education projects, different materials, yeah, sheets, education materials. I would like to ask you, you developed these supportive educational materials during the project, or you use it something from another project?
We develop the materials, but this part developed by ourselves, but part is adapted from this Associació Habitat from Catalonia, that they have a very, very similar project.
And these materials are available, like in a repository, could be accessed by another people. They are available online in electronic format, or you keep it only for activities you do personally with the children or with the audiences?
There are some that are available online, some of this association of the Iberian project have it open for everyone. We don't have every material open. We have some of them, but if people is interested in carry out Proxecto Rios, they talk with us by email, and we give it to them.
Because I'm working also in another Horizon project. We are doing like this kind of repository for online education, from education actually, with different materials which are related to the wetlands there. Yeah, because it's focused on the wetland. It is good to know these examples. So there will be a possibility to collaborate, make synergies among the projects.
This repository is in English or includes any European language?
We develop now like a database with everything, any languages, because now it's not a problem to have with this artificial intelligence to translate them, especially these sheets, these materials are quite simple and could be developed. Even they are maybe locally, but should be adapted. And actually this, when we want to have effects of our educational activities, we should multiplicate, we should provide materials in order to encourage this educator to use them and to do these activities.
That's great that you have that common point. I'd like to ask Bibiana a couple of questions. I got impressed about that you have your own publication, Cerna. I'd like to know, how do you disseminate this?
We publish it and we give it to all our associates, but we also, for example, share it with public libraries,
okay,
other associations, so many people have access. We also give it to schools, and some schools are subscribed.
So you do by ordinary mail?
Yes, but
it's a physical.
Yes, it's a physical, but you can consult it online. It's some of the, we publish it twice a year. Some of the oldest ones are published online for free.
Good. And you mentioned also a rural research observatory. Can you tell me a bit more about this?
I wasn't there. I'm sorry. It was other college that went to this observatory.
Okay, but it's like for doing environmental monitoring and report to the decision makers or the government or the funding institutions, or what's the objective?
It was directed to Vigo University, so I guess it was a compendium of many associations, but more directed to education.
Okay.
From educational point of view, yes.
Okay, great. So it's 1 hour of webinar right now. I am very impressed of the contents that you shared with us today. Marta just put in the chat for the audience that is not a big one today, if they can fill out the satisfaction survey. And great that you put this knowledge in common, so hopefully Bibiana share the publications that they have in this repository that Gabriela mentioned. And thank you for being with us today, and have a lovely week.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Thank you very much for all.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're closing the meeting now. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.